They are broke. They have not released the first quarter warrants for capital. No one has been paid. They don't have money. They cannot even pay states their federation account allocations. They paid only 30% in March and did a second installment, I think, last year. They haven't paid April. The country is broke. Okay? So without money, without capital releases for second quarter, how can you achieve 80% implementation? That's one problem. The second problem is that the government is taking off so much money before it comes to federation account in the name of fuel subsidies. This year, by the end of March, 519 billion has been paid as arrears of 2011 on fuel subsidies. Many people don't know this. The 2.7 billion that Farouk Lawan's committee calculated does not include this 500 billion that was deducted this year. So this money goes first before they come to federation account. So a lot of deductions are taking place that are not transparent. So there is no money. They don't have the money to even achieve 50% budget implementation. They will not achieve 50%, I'm sure of it. I believe Nigeria is a federation only in name.
Why?
Because there is no federation, really. There isn't. We are just a federal republic in name. Because a federation means that you have federating units that are strong and independent of the center. Yeah. So now, apart from Lagos State, every state in Nigeria is a parastatal. They wait monthly for handouts from the federation account. That's not a federation. That's one. We have one police force for the whole country. That is not the characteristic of a federation. In a federation, each state should be able to have its own police, while you have federal police for particular crimes. Okay. Thirdly, in a federation, each state should have greater control over its resource endowments. And if you look at the 1963 Constitution, when we were a real federation, you will see it. 50% of revenues that emanate from that state are retained by the state. I don't know whether that is the best thing to do or not. I have not thought about it. But one thing that I know is that some of the states are not viable. We need governments that will look inwardly and try to develop the resources of each state. And then the federal government can come in to assist those that are poor or not so endowed. That's how federations are supposed to work. I don't think we are a federation. In fact, we are just a federation in name. The reason I'm in politics is more defensive than offensive. I'm not in politics to contest any office. I was not in public service on account of politics. I was given all my opportunities in public service because of confidence in my ability to do certain things. From advising General Salami Abubakar in 98 to 99 to Obasanjo, asking me to be head of BPE, and then promoting me to the cabinet as Minister for Abuja. They are all based on a feeling that I get things done. It's not because I campaigned or joined a political party. I was never a card-carrying member of any party until I was nominated to the cabinet and were required to be members of political parties. So I was given a PDP card overnight. But after I left government, it became very clear to me that unless you're in politics, you expose yourselves to the vicissitudes of politicians. Umar Yar'Adua went after me, he smeared my reputation. He did everything to destroy me because I had no political base. If I had my own political base, he would not have thought about it, because politicians know when you have your own base and your capacity for mischief as well, because mischief is the first profession of a politician. So, during my 23 months of exile, both Nuh and I discussed this, and we said, what is happening to us is because we chose to distance ourselves from partisan politics. And next time, we will not make the same mistake. And this is my message to all young people. Do not ignore politics, because at the end of the day, politics trumps everything. It will destroy everything you've done or you try to do, unless you're sitting at the table. And this is why we decided to go into politics, both in one eye from our exile period. But we had two different approaches. He wanted to be in politics to contest elections. I wanted to be in politics as a defensive strategy. Okay, and of course we have taken different paths. He has contested for office, but I'm not in the CPC to contest for any office. I'm frankly not even interested in working for the government ever again. I think my calling is somewhere else, not in government. I've done enough. I do not believe that I'm the only one that can salvage the country. I have been in public service and in the private sector long enough to give you a list of names of hundreds of people that I know who really want to make this country better. They are committed to it, but they never had the opportunity. I was lucky to have an opportunity at a very young age to do some of these things. That's why I'm known. But I know many that are like me or even better than me. And I think that we should open up our minds to the possibility that others that have not been tried could do as well a good job as some of us. Having said that, I cannot predict with any degree of accuracy what can happen in politics 2 or 3 years from now, because 24 hours is a long time in politics. My priority right now is to rebuild the CPC and rebuild it into a national party through mergers with existing opposition parties and so on. And my hope is that if I am able to lead that and create a new national platform that can challenge the PDP and get the PDP out of office, I'll be a very happy man, whether I'm in government or not. All this talk about 2015, in my opinion, is a distraction on at least 3 grounds. First, the way the country is going, I'm not even sure we'll get to 2015. unless those in power change their strategy and methods, we will not get to 2015. This is my honest feeling. But secondly, if you're talking of 2015 now, when the current elected officials have not even spent 1 year, I think it's a complete distraction. I think it's pathetic to start thinking of your election when you have not delivered on the current mandate. Thirdly, for a party like the CPC that is merging, that hopes to merge with many other parties and be at the front or forefront of a broad coalition of good against the evil of the PDP, it is too early to talk about candidates. I'm 52 years old. I have seen this cycle several times of bad elections, violence following elections, incompetent government, and it's usually followed by the fall of that government. It has happened 2 or 3 times in my lifetime. The ruling party is totally undemocratic. There is nothing they do that is democratic. They rig elections with impunity. The electoral bodies, the security agencies are all with them. They have managed to even compromise most of the judges. We are just pretending that we are a democracy. We are not. And once we get to that point whereby nobody believes it is a democracy, the government will collapse. It has happened 3-4 times. In 1964, there were bad elections in the West, Whittier, killings, and 2 years later, the government was overthrown. In 1983, there were bad elections in the West. In Ondo State, the NPM tried to steal the governorship by hook or by crook. There were killings. Okay. A few months later, Shagari was overthrown. Okay. In 1993, we had elections which were annulled. Babangida had to leave. There is a pattern to this that people don't want to look at. That's why I was surprised when the government was trying to attack General Buhari because he said that if elections in 2015 are rigged, there will be violence. There is history. History has said that, so Buhari didn't need to say it, and it is the truth. And the PDP should understand that if they rig the 2015 election, they will not survive the aftermath. They will not live to enjoy the fruits of their rigging. They should understand that everybody is up to his neck in anger and frustration. I will just not take it anymore. They need to understand that. It's not Buhari talking. You ask anyone on the street, he will tell you the same thing. Nobody has a monopoly of mischief or violence. It's just that some of us decide to be reasonable. But if the other side continues to be unreasonable and act with impunity and boast about it, we will respond in kind.